This is by far the most shocking sponsorship opportunity that I have ever been propositioned with. These guys right here, the developers behind Dragon Raja, have asked me to not only tell you guys that this video that I would do for them is not sponsored, which is against YouTube's terms of service, which could get me into a lot of legal trouble, but they also want me to leave the name of the developer and the publisher out of it completely. Now, this is going to potentially ruin any future opportunities I would have with Archosaur Games. They are the people that made Dragon Raja. Yes, I am dropping their names here because this company right here, you guys need to know, after they reached out to me to do a new dedicated video on Dragon Raja, after I responded with asking with their budget, after I asked for their talking points because I wasn't really sure what they wanted me to do, they responded with, and I'm going to show an excerpt of the email here, "We hope this time you do not mention it is sponsored by our game. You can put a hashtag ad," and then they went ahead and gave me an example of how I should introduce you guys to the game. They said, "Before I continue, I'd like to introduce you to the hottest game in town, Dragon Raja." Now, typically when I do a sponsored video, I have the complete freedom to introduce the game however I want. I don't have to follow a script that they send me. They'll send me a list of talking points that they want me to go through, and I will just include some of those talking points into what I'm advertising. But other than that, again, I have the complete freedom to do whatever I want. And if they're a little bit tighter with their restrictions, then I'll just let them know that either they need to loosen up a little bit and give me more creative freedom, or I just can't go ahead and do it. But these people in specific, they went ahead and they explicitly stated that they hope this time I do not mention that it is sponsored. Like, how can I do a sponsored video on a game and not disclose that it is sponsored? Like, that is against YouTube's terms of service. That goes against the Federal Trade Commission's disclosures for social media influencers, which goes on to state that we must at all times disclose any and all sponsorships, lest we get in legal trouble, lest we have our videos taken down, be taken to court and sued for thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. So they asked me to completely hide the fact that the video I would be doing would be sponsored, financially paid for, because typically I would not have covered this game again. This is not a game that I really dedicate any time to because it is a mobile game and there are much better ones out there. But this is not a terrible game, and therefore I would have no trouble, no issue following up and doing another video on it. But at the same time, if I am going to do a sponsored video, I am going to tell you guys that it is sponsored. I am morally obligated to. I am contractually obligated to by YouTube and the FTC. This company, Archosaur Games, this game, Dragon Raja, they are paying people money to positively advertise their game, and they are making sure that they do not disclose that the game that they are positively reviewing is sponsored. This means that any YouTuber that is not as morally sound as I am, because I'm gonna be honest with you guys here, I make enough money through YouTube to be able to turn down instances like this, to be able to burn bridges with potential developers and publishers like this. But there are other YouTubers that definitely do not make enough to, and there are other content creators that are not as morally sound as I am. And these content creators would no doubt say, "Oh, you're gonna pay me thousands of dollars to review a game or to do a dedicated video on a game, not even necessarily review, and not include that it's sponsored," because having sponsored in a video automatically negates your opinion, negates your view, and people automatically think you're selling out and that you're a shill. That is not entirely true. It is in some instances, sure, but in this instance in specific, they are being paid to positively discuss a game and they are not disclosing it, meaning that you have no idea that that is not their actual opinion of it. After hearing that, I instantly got turned off. I did not want to work with the PR company. I did not want to work with the developer. I did not want to work with the game. Now, I know that there are other games that are coming up from Archosaur Games, and those games do look pretty good. At least some of them do. But at the same time, now I know that this developer is reaching out to people and paying for sponsored opinions that are fabricated, that are entirely untrue, and that these content creators are not disclosing it, which begs the question, how many of these positive reviews, A, for Dragon Raja, B, for all of Archosaur Games' games, and C, for games in general, mobile games in specific, because I know that they're a lot shadier than PC and console developers, are influenced heavily and paid for. Now, they gave me a list of talking points, and I'm not going to go ahead and show the talking points because I'm not sure if I am allowed to, but I will note that they explicitly state at the beginning of the talking notes, make sure that the name of the sponsor, aka Archosaur Games, is not mentioned in the video. Avoid any words such as Archosaur Games or any words that are at all related to Archosaur Games. They do not want this associated with Archosaur Games. They do not want me to discuss the fact that it is sponsored. They want it to seem completely legit, like as if it were completely my opinion and was not at all influenced by them or the money that they are giving me. And I am just appalled. Like, I've covered a few different games recently. I have discussed how developers, how publishers are abusing influencers by having them leave positive reviews, by paying for positive reviews, by attempting to reach out and have videos that I have done removed because they didn't like the video I did, that it was quote unquote affecting their game. But this right here, oh my God, this is an entirely new low. I mean, these guys in essence would be paying me money to not only lie to you about the game, but to lie to you about the game being sponsored. Like, at least in the past, when companies have reached out to me, they understand that I have to disclose the fact that it's sponsored. But these guys right here, oh man, I would, in the future, when looking at reviews, when looking at opinions from content creators regarding Archosaur Games, I would make certain to take anything you hear from that influencer with a grain of salt, because they have just made explicitly clear that they are willing to pay to keep you quiet and to keep other influencers quiet with regards to the advertising of their product. I'm not into that. I prefer being open. I mean, like, at the end of the day, I can go ahead and do a video like this. I could do a video discussing it. I am under the impression that they are going to be very, very upset after hearing this. I may have them come out and attempt to contact me with regards to removing the video. I don't really know. At the end of the day, I am going to discuss any and all instances like this because I don't think I should be paid to not disclose the fact that a video that I am trying to sell to you is sponsored. And any company, any developer, any publisher, any influencer that does not follow the same practice should not exist on the platform. And I'm sorry to say it, but there are a lot of those content creators out there. Now, before I finish this there, these Dragon Raja developers are the very same developers that stole content that Cry being another MMO YouTuber that quit about half a year ago, did on Dragon Raja. They took a part of the audio that we did for the game, then they overlaid that audio onto video they created that they recorded themselves, and then they made an advertisement across social media, across Twitter, across Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and they were selling this game as if we were supporting it and as if that was officially done by us, which it was not. Here is an example of that specific advertisement. Creation is really, really good. There are a plethora of options with which to customize your character, facial options, hairstyles, makeup, and even your body. Yeah, your body. I know exactly where your minds went with that, and yes, you can edit your character's assets. What would the game be if you couldn't, right? Exactly. Seriously, this company is atrociously, appallingly, distastefully disgusting, and I cannot express how disappointed I am knowing that there are other content creators out there that are accepting deals like this. But you know what, guys, just be careful when listening to the opinions of other content creators. It's very easy to discern whether something is paid for or not because they don't say negative things about it, but purely because they do nothing but say positive things about it. Anyway, guys, that is pretty much everything I wanted to talk about today. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully, I guess hopefully you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, and I will see you guys next time.
Someday soon, I'm gonna make it. Yeah, all hard work's gonna be worth it. Ooh,